Welcome to another episode of One Voice Mini Stories. I'm your host, Kevin Bradford. Marcus Hale didn't return to the Overlook because he wanted to. He returned because something in the silence had his name written on it. The gravel crunched under his boots as he stepped out of the court. The Missouri air was cooler than it should have been for this time of year. The kind of cold that didn't touch your skin but your memory. The Overlook stretched out in front of him like a wound the land never healed. The valley below shadowed the last daylight, leaving only a thin line fading gold along the horizon. Marcus wasn't alone. He was the figure before he felt the fear. A man stood at the cliff's edge, hands in his pockets, shoulders squared, head tilted slightly, like he was listening to something Marcus couldn't hear. Marcus froze, because the man wasn't a stranger. He was Marcus. Same coat, same posture, same way leaning forward. Like the world was a riddle he could solve if he stared long enough. Marcus blinked. The figure didn't. He stepped closer, slowly, deliberately. The gravel shifted under his boots, but the other Marcus didn't turn, didn't react, didn't breathe. The wind pushed through the trees, carrying a low hum, almost a voice, almost a warning. Marcus stopped a few feet away. "Who are you?" he said, though the answer was sitting heavy in his chest. The figure finally moved. Not a turn, not a step. Just a slow lift of the head, like something inside had been waiting for permission. When it spoke, the voice wasn't an echo. It was older, tired, like it had lived through something Marcus hadn't reached yet. "You left something here." Marcus felt his pulse climb. "What?" The figure didn't answer. Instead, it stepped aside, revealing the ground where it had been standing. A notebook, Marcus' notebook. The one he lost the night the case went sideways. The night the witness vanished. The night the valley swallowed the truth and refused to give it back. He crouched and picked it up. The leather was cold, stiff, like it had been waiting in the dark too long. He flipped it open. Every page was blank except for the last one. A single line written in his own handwriting. "Peace return when you stop letting people boil your energy." Marcus stared at it, breath caught in his own throat. That wasn't a note from the past. That was a warning from the future. He looked up. The figure was gone. Not a walk away, not a fade. Gone, like it had never been there at all. The wind shifted, the valley exhaled. The silence felt heavier now, like it was holding something it didn't want to give back. Marcus closed the notebook and slipped it into his coat. Whatever this case was becoming, it just wasn't about a missing witness anymore. It was about the valley. It was about the night he couldn't forget. It was about him, the version of himself he used to be, the version he was becoming, and a version that had stood at the edge of the Overlook, staring into a future Marcus wasn't ready to face. He turned back toward the court, boots crunching on the gravel, the cold settling deeper into his bones. The case wasn't waiting for him. It was following. Marcus didn't rush back to the court. He moved steady, like any sudden motion would wake something he didn't want to meet in the dark. The wind pressed against his back, colder now, almost intensely, like the valley was trying to keep him from leaving. He opened the driver's door, but before he got in, he felt it. Not a sound, not a presence, a pull. Like the Overlook wasn't done with him. Marcus turned his head just enough to see the tree line. The branches weren't moving with the wind anymore. They were moving against it, bending toward him, pointing almost guiding. He swallowed hard. "Not tonight," he muttered. But the valley didn't care what night it was. A low vibration rolled through the ground beneath his boots. Not an earthquake, not a truck on a distant road. This was deep, like something underneath the earth had shifted its weight. Marcus got into the car and shut the door. The interior felt too small, too quiet, like the silence had followed him inside the court. He started the engine, but the headlight didn't come on right away. They flickered, stuttered, then finally cut through the door. That's when he saw it, a figure standing in a beam of the lights. Not the version of himself from the Overlook, not a stranger. Something in between, a silhouette shaped like a man but wrong in detail. shoulders too still, head tilted too far. No breath, no movement, just watching. Marcus gripped the wheel, knuckles white, he didn't blink, he didn't breathe. The figure didn't move toward him, it didn't move at all. It just stood there like it was waiting for him to understand something he wasn't ready to know. Marcus shifted the car into reverse, but the figure didn't fade with distance. It stayed in the headlights like the lights itself was holding it in place. He whispered to himself, "What do you want from me?" The figure finally moved, not forward, not backwards. It lifted its hand, slow, deliberately, and pointed toward the passenger seat. Marcus turned his head. The notebook was sitting there, open, pages fluttering even though the air inside the car was still. A new line appeared beneath the last one, written in the same handwriting he didn't remember writing. "You can't outrun what you refuse to face." Marcus felt the weight from it settle in his chest. This wasn't a warning, this was an instruction. He looked back toward the figure. It was gone. The headlights shone on nothing but empty gravel and the edge of the overlook. Marcus exhaled long and shady. He put the car in drive and pulled away from the cliff, the valley shrinking in the rearview mirror, but the feeling didn't leave. The case wasn't behind him, it wasn't waiting ahead of him. It was beside him now, riding with him. And whatever he had seen tonight, whatever vision of himself he'd been standing on the edge, it wasn't finished. Not with him, not with the truth, not with the part of the story he still didn't know he was in. Marcus tightened his grip on the wheel. "All right," he said into the dark. "Show me." The road didn't answer, but the silence did. Thank you for listening to One Voice Mini Stories.